Hello and welcome to part 3 of Climbing the Mountain. I'm glad we're all here. Let's jump right into the learning of the day. Today we're going to be talking about the energy of Nissan and what Nissan is here to help us do and help us create. So like we said last time about Purim and Adar, we explained that time is something that we actually go through, right? It's not something that goes through us. It's something that we go through, okay? So the idea of going through time means that every day is a different experience. The only reason that we don't feel that, and a lot of us feel like every day is like Groundhog Day, every day is just like the same day over and over and over and over again, is because we remain the same people every day, right? Once we can change ourselves, even if it's like just basic, even if it's just, listening to a half-hour class in the morning, or waking up a little earlier to pray, or to do his Hisbodedus, or if it's just to eat better, to drink more water, to take a walk, any kind of pe'ula, any kind of action that we do that would be different on a daily basis would make us feel different, would make our days feel different, would make our interaction with our days different. We would feel much more alive, much more connected. When do people feel not alive? When do people feel suffocated? They feel that when every day is the same, when there's no newness, when there's nothing to look forward to, where people just feel like they have this like gaping hole inside that they don't know how to fill first, with which food, with which drink, with which outing. They don't know what to fill, but bottom line, it doesn't fill them, because really, nothing outside of you can fill you. Nothing outside of you can fill that gaping hole inside of you that makes you feel like you just want more out of life. That voice inside of you that says, I just want to be happy, right? Nothing really outside of you can fill you on that level. The only thing that can really fill you are your actions and your dedications, your decisions to do something different on a daily basis. And if you are committed to doing something, okay, let's say something new, something different for the next 40 days, it's proven statistically that it's going to become a part of you. It's going to become a new part of you, something that wasn't you 40 days ago and now is you, right? So any habit that you decide to work on and decide to break or decide to form, right? Give it 40 days of real hasmada, real connection, real commitment, and you're going to see that it's going to change you and it's going to become a part of you. That's in a nutshell how we can kind of like wake ourselves up a little bit to, feeling better and being a little bit happier. So that's just a tip. So what is Chodesh Nissan? Okay, if we're just jump into the concept of Nissan. Nissan is all about redemption. It's all about Geula. Now, all of the things that we learn about Nissan and about Pesach, and we're going to have a class on Pesach, but I don't want to get into Pesach right now. I want to talk more about Nissan and the energies of Nissan. But just in general, what we learn about Pesach and Chametz and Matzah and the cleaning and the preparing and all of it, right, is really all symbolism. Now, the reason we have to go through all the actions of getting rid of the matzah and getting rid of the chametz and bringing matzah into our lives and really covering up our kitchens and cleaning everything up and going through our pockets and going through our cars and going through our sfarim, our books and all of it, the reason that we are in such a crazy mode for the next 2 weeks right now is because, why is it? Is because the concept is, when we know this, that chametz really is all symbolism for the things that are holding me back from being me in my life. In essence, all of Nissan is about redemption. Free yourself, redemption. That's it. Pesach, the word Pesach has 2 words inside of it, peh and sach, a mouth that speaks. Freedom of speech, freedom to be who you are, freedom to say how you feel. That's freedom. Right? And yet, we're in such a different kind of experience of we got to get everything done in time. And it almost feels like it's not freedom, because freedom in our minds is kicking back, sitting on the beach, sipping our pina coladas and chilling in the sun, because that's what we consider freedom, right? But the idea of freedom is very, very deep and very amazing. And if we can have this in mind during our preparations right now in the month of Nisan, during this time while we're getting ready for Pesach, things can really be different for us and things can really shift for us. So before we get into what we should have in mind and what freedom really is, I just want to go back to Nissan and talk about Nissan for a second. Nissan essence, energy is all about redemption and all about emunah. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that Hashem literally sends into the world these pockets of energy called geula, right? The pocket of energy that He sends into the world right now, that comes into the world today, being Rosh Chodesh Nissan today, is geula, a tremendous amount of energy of geula, meaning we get a lot more siyata d'shmaya from above because there's this energy of geula. What's the siyata d'shmaya with? The siyata d'shmaya is coming out of our own exile, our personal exile and our national exile as well. But let's just take this to a personal level. Our personal exile, meaning the things that you've been stuck in for so long, the things that you feel like you don't know how to get out of, or things that you feel like there's no answer to. For example, God forbid, being sick or having some kind of illness, or being in a terrible marriage, or not being able to have children, or not being able to create better eating habits, or whatever it may be. Being like stuck in some kind of an addiction, or some kind of a bad marriage, or some kind of a bad relationship, or a health issue. So we get a lot more siyata d'shmaya this month, okay, from above, in this realm of redemption. Redemption. You can be redeemed from the exile that you're in right now. Not only can you, but Hashem wants you to be redeemed. Hashem wants you to be redeemed from the exile that you're in right now. What's holding us back? What's holding us back from having a redemption in the pain and the gullus that each of us experiences in ourselves? 99% of what's holding us back is our own fears of being ourselves. And I'm going to explain. You see, freedom means to be in control of yourself and at all times. It means to just be in control of yourself at all times. That's what it means to be a free person. A free person means that no one is dictating to you how you feel. And you don't have to look a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way, go to a certain shul in order to be loved and accepted by the world, in order for you to being loved and accepted from yourself. Right? The reason that we want the world to love us and accept us so much is because we don't love and accept ourselves enough, right? We don't love and accept ourselves enough. We feel like we're constantly needing that extra, pat on the back, and you're amazing, or you look so good, or whatever it is, because we don't think so highly of ourselves. We don't recognize our own godless, our own potential. It's us that feel that we are constantly looking outward in order to get other people's praise, permission, whatever it may be. So it kind of makes us feel like, you know what? I'm worthwhile, right? My existence on this world, there's a legitimacy to it. It makes sense. It adds up. That's why, because people think I'm worthwhile, because look at me, I'm doing such a good job, I'm making so much money, I look so good, right? I'm helping out all these people, and I'm getting such feedback from it, and now I feel like, you see, I'm good. Or that, and that's what's going on psychologically all the time, by the fact that everyone's, the million selfies and the world that we're in today, which is so look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at my, so maybe in the younger years it's like selfies and whatever to get everyone's attention, right? And in the older years, when people get older, it's look at all the money I have, look at the house I live in, look at the shul I belong to, look at the chesed I belong to, whatever it may be, right? Everyone has their status of making themselves feel like, oh, I'm worthwhile because I do this, or because I look this way, or because I make this much. So in essence, freedom is freedom from all of that bondage. All the bondage of needing the world's stamp of approval in order to make you feel like you are amazing, which you are, right? Freedom is understanding that what makes me free, in essence, is my choices to become a better person and my commitment at doing them. My choices to do what's right over what feels right, over what feels good. My choice is to be a person that is committed to the truth and committed to the truthful process of what is right, right? What is right? What is healthy? What is correct? It's difficult, for sure, but what's the right thing to do, right? That's freedom. Being a person that is able to kind of get obsessed with the right thing to do and be committed to the right thing to do, right? And because that's in essence really loving yourself. Really loving yourself means I'm not going to trash my body with garbage food and gossip and not being modest and not being shomanagia and all those things, because I know that even though in the short run right now it feels really good, I know that in the long run I'm really hurting myself and I'm really doing a disservice to myself. And me be doing a disservice to myself means that I'm locked up. I'm in bondage. I'm not free. I'm not free from the impulses, and I'm not free from the Yetzer Hara that tells me pleasure, 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 pleasure. Just keep running after your pleasures, right? A person that is free is a person that wants to create and that wants to build. A person that is free has the freedom to do that and decides every day how they're going to live their life in pursuit of that and what they're going to do with their 70, 80 years in this world and where they're going with their time and where they're going with their efforts, right? It's not a person that's running after their own tail, that's chasing their own impulses, right? Because we know what happens when we chase our impulses. Nothing is created, nothing is built. It feels good for a second, but then it's gone, right? It feels good for an hour, but then it's gone. It feels good for a year, but then it's over, right? Then it's over. People that are wise and people that are really free are the people that are committed to a process that even though right now in the moment it doesn't feel good to stop my whole day and daven, to stop my whole day and say, okay, 1 second, am I doing the right thing? Or should I be learning a little bit more? Or should I be careful with who I hang out with? Or should I be careful with where I go? Or maybe instead of hanging out here or watching this movie, I can go out and help someone, clean their house or organize their life or take their kids to the park or whatever it may be. Yes, it's not as easy and it's not as rewarding in the moment, but you're actually building something in yourself. You're building a whole castle within your soul. You're building yourself you're creating inside of you something that only later on are you going to reap benefits from. But fear not, because you will reap benefits from it, right? And that is the concept, and that is the incredible force of Nissan. Nissan is all about redemption. Redeem yourself from all the things that hold you back, the fears that hold us back, so many fears that hold us back from being ourselves. What are people going to say? What are people going to talk about me? How can I go be that person? How can I sound like that? How can I, whatever, we get so bogged down by what people are going to say and how people are going to look at us. I remember when I was getting divorced, when I was thinking of getting divorced, and like the thing that held me back the most was, I love speaking and I love teaching, so I'm never going to be able to speak again. I'm never going to be able to teach again. Who's going to listen to a girl that's divorced? That's what was going through my mind. Like, once I'm divorced, in my head I had this like stamp on me, and the stamp said, damaged goods. And I felt like, how can I even like continue doing the thing that I love to do and the thing that I feel like I was created to do, which is to teach and to spread and to really connect with the world? How can I do that if I'm going to be divorced? So let me just stay in this marriage and keep doing and keep speaking. And that's what I did for a long time, right? Until I got to a point where I had to save myself, right? And I did. And when I did, and I was still invited to speak places and people still wanted to hear from me, I was shocked. I was shocked because in my mind, the fear was so great of just not wanting to be, and no one's going to want to like come to my classes. No one's going to want to be my friend because I got divorced. The fear was so great. It was larger than life, and it was larger than the truth. I wasn't even open to hearing anyone tell me that's not true, Devorah. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I wasn't even open to that in my head. When my friends used to tell me that, I would be like, what do you know? How would you know? I know it's for sure going to happen. Right? So what I want to say here is that that's what it means to be a slave. That's what it means to be in Egypt, in exile. It means to be in a place that you're feeling so stuck and you're feeling so not yourself and you're feeling so not free and you're feeling so not in a place of being able to produce and to become and to soar, right? But you're staying there for fear of what XYZ, fill in the blank, whatever your fears are, whatever your fears may be. And we all have fears. Some of our fears are more obvious, and some of our fears are harder to see and harder to reach, but they're the ones that are kind of like controlling our behavior. It's the thing that you don't like about yourself, and you wish you weren't like that. Look over there. That's where your fears are. Okay? The thing that you don't like about yourself, that you wish you were just like different, you just were like more friendly, or you were able to be more of a giver, or you're able to, whatever it may be, right? The thing that's like you feel like you're just not, and you just get frustrated with yourself that you're not that, and you wish you were that. Look over there. There's a lot of fear going on over there. There's a lot of fearful thoughts surrounding that are not letting you free. They're not letting you go. You see, a free person is a person that decides and goes for it. That decides on the truth and says, this is the truth. I can't be in denial of the truth. I can decide, I can say to myself, okay, this is the truth, but I don't want to accept it, and I just want to run after pleasures, and I just want to be, a worldly person that experiences this world on a very superficial base level, right? Of eating, drinking, partying, and having fun, and going out with friends, and giving myself as much as I can give myself on whatever level of pleasure it may be, right? You can say that to yourself, but as long as you're being honest with yourself and you're saying to yourself, but I'm avoiding the truth, because the truth is always going to be there, and the truth is important to recognize. And what's the truth? The truth is that once we live our lives al pi derech Hashem, once we live our lives according to Torah and mitzvos, with all of it, with all of the passion and inspiration and excitement and spirituality and mysticism and all of it, not just the like do or die and the dry facts and halacha and but all enriching ourselves fully and really jumping into the world of Kabbalah and Torah and learning and drenching ourselves in spirituality, right? Can we understand what it really is, right? And if I say to myself, I understand that there's a process, and this is the process, and this is what I'm committing to, even though it's not comfortable right now, and even though it's requiring me to come out of my comfort zones right now, and even though it's difficult for me right now, but I'm going to do it, I'm going to be committed to the process, then and only then are you a free person. When you decide what you're going to say, and now your impulses tell you what you're going to say. Right now I'm angry, so I'm going to scream and yell. That's not being a free person. Right now, that's not being a free person. That's being a person that is a slave to their anger, right? Or I had a bad day, forget it, I'm not on the diet, I'm just going to eat this cheesecake. That's not being a free person. That's a person that is a slave to their emotions, right? Being a free person is being on top of your game. You are the captain of your ship. You decide what comes into your mouth and what goes out of your mouth. You decide what you're going to look at. You decide what you're going to do. You decide how you're going to live your day. You decide what time you're going to wake up, and you decide what time you're going to go to bed. You're going to decide what you do in between, even though it's difficult and it's hard and it requires you to come out of your comfort zones 100 times a day. But this is something that I'm committed to and I'm passionate about. That's freedom. That's being free. And when we are getting rid of the chametz in our house, what we are doing is literally every single time you think this, when you're cleaning your house for Pesach, you are getting schar for it. You are eradicating the chametz. You say to Hashem, Hashem, take the fear out of my heart. Take the fear out of my heart. The fear of not being accepted, the fear of being looked at like a freak, the fear of failure, the fear of not knowing what it is that I'm doing, the fear of letting go of the person that I've known my whole life, which is myself. The person that I've known my whole life with my own tendencies and my own ways and my own habits, and wanting to let go of that and start over. The fears, all the fears, Hashem, take them away. I'm eradicating them. And think it when you clean your house, and think it when you get rid of all your chametz, and think it when you're seeing that chametz burn on Erev Pesach. Think it. I'm burning it. Hashem, you're burning it out of my life because I want to be redeemed. And that is what Chodesh Nissan is. Chodesh Nissan, the energy that comes into the world today, is the energy of redemption, freedom, geula, emuna. Emuna means to walk through your life, not know what's going to happen tomorrow, not know what's going to happen in 5 days from now, and still stay committed to your truth. Still stay committed to your truth. Like the Chafetz Chaim says, he says, rather pack your bags and leave your job than speak Lashon Hara against another fellow co-worker in order to be able to save your position. If it's you over him and he's a Yid, And this person is going to lose their job if you say your bit, or it's going to be you if you don't say your bit. Chavetz Chaim says, pack your bags. Wow. You know what that requires? That requires a very, very high level of integrity and emunah. Because I follow halacha. Come hell or high water, I follow halacha. I follow this derech. I follow God. I follow the Torah. I follow the mitzvos. And I have a huge entity within me that is my number one enemy, that's saying to me, that is the most ridiculous thing you've ever said in your life. You have to live a normal life. You have to have a normal job. You have to act normal, be normal, and be just like everyone else. And stop being ridiculous. That is the constant Yetzer Hara that is talking to us all the time, nonstop. And we have to constantly realign ourselves with the truth. Am I living truth? What am I doing? Is what I'm doing right now being manipulative on whatever level? Is what I'm doing right now sneaky? Is what I'm doing right now trying to get someone else to in a backhanded way do something for me? Am I trying to, whatever it may be, it's down to the nuances. But I want to tell you something. You know what's the most amazing thing in the world? The most amazing thing in the world is Hashem says, Hashem says, all I need to see from you is your will and your want, your thirst. Your thirst for the truth. Your thirst to be free. Your thirst to come out of bondage. And you know what? I'm going to open the way for you. I'm going to lead you out. Anything is possible. My friends, anything is possible. We got to get unstuck. We got to get out of this mindset of like, oh, this is my life. This is what it is. I just got to deal with it. That mindset is what's keeping you in that situation. You got to get out of that place. Out of that mochin de katnus, like Rabbi Nachman says. Out of that small frame of mind. You got to start thinking big. You got to start thinking redemption. See the redemption in your mind's eye. See your own personal redemption in wherever it is that you want to be redeemed from. Wherever it is that you feel like there's no answer, I'm stuck here, this is my life for the rest of my life, there's nothing, there's no answer to this, there's no remedy, there's no medicine, there's nothing, no one's coming to save me. From that place, and start imagining Geula, what it looks like, what it tastes like, get down to the nitty-gritties of it. Imagine it in your mind's eye, write it in your journal, write it in your notebook. Start being in the mode of Geula, because we are in times of Geula right now. Chaim Kanievsky says, Mashiach bepetach, Mashiach is at the doorway. You got to start coming into a place of redemption, place of it's happening, and anything is possible for me in my life. And the only reason that I am where I am is because I'm keeping myself small. I'm keeping myself stuck by the thoughts that I have, and this is my life, and this is what it is. Nothing's going to change, and everything's going to stay the same. And these are my children, and this is my spouse, and this is my lack of a spouse, and this is me not having kids, and this is me not being able to have a parnasa, and this is me not being mitzliach. And we're prophesizing failures for ourselves all the time. And that's why we keep seeing the failures over and over again, because we keep thinking that this is the cycle of my life, and there's just no way out. Well, the energy of Nissan tells us that anything is possible. And Geula has come into the world today. So if you want to jump on this bandwagon, and if you want to taste and have some of this Geula happen in your life, and set its roots in your life, then you got to start thinking different, you got to start talking different, and you got to start being in a different mode. In your cleaning, in your day-to-day, in your job, with your kids, at home, wherever you are, whatever's going through your mind, be in a realm of freedom. Right now, I don't feel like getting up and davening mincha. Get up and daven mincha. Right now, I don't feel like cleaning my house. Or right now, I don't want to put on a skirt. Or right now, I don't care about whatever. I just want to sit on my phone for 17 hours. Do what's right. Get on that treadmill. Eat that healthy fruit. Do the right thing. Go out and help a neighbor. Make someone a meal. Do the right thing, because doing the right thing is you controlling the animal inside of you, and not the animal inside of you controlling you. And if you do that this month, you will experience redemption on so many levels in your life. You're going to be amazed by God. You're going to be amazed by yourself. But you got to step up to the plate. And stepping up to the plate means you got to put your money where your mouth is. And you got to start being that person. You got to have to walk the walk and talk the talk. You want to be redeemed? Start acting on redemption mode. You want to be redeemed? Start doing the right thing, even though it doesn't feel comfortable or you don't feel like it or it's not pleasuresome right now or whatever. Stop screaming at those kids. Stop screaming at those kids. Stop screaming at that husband. Stop screaming at that wife. Stop thinking negative thoughts about yourself. Stop with the self-criticism. Stop trashing your body with garbage food and garbage drink. Start taking care of yourself. Do the things that are hard for you to do. That's putting your money where your mouth is, and that's redemption, and that's Chodesh Nisan. So I hope I gave us a little bit of something to think about. And Be'ez Hashem, very soon we're going to get the clip on the audio on Pesach, and that's going to be, I'm going to try to get that to you a little bit before Pesach, so you're going to be able to have more as in what to think and how to approach the Seder and how to approach the Lel Pesach and the time of Pesach and what kind of high time we are about to experience and go into. Pesach is the highest point of this month. It's the highest point of the year. It's the year. It's literally. It's a time of such closeness, of such protection, of such shimurim, lil shimurim. It's a time. It's one of the highest time of the years. It's a time where the Or HaGana is revealed to us, or that hidden light of the Garden of Eden that was hidden is revealed to us on that night. So we're going to talk about it in the next recording. But for now, keep your own redemption in mind. Start acting it. Start thinking it. Start talking it. Start breathing it. Air out your house. Air out your soul. Because if you do that, you're going to taste freedom. Have a great one. Bye.